Welcome to the From the 108 podcast, starring the drunk uncles of White Sox Twitter. He's a Twitter like whore, an Instagram thirst trap, and your grandma's guilty pleasure, Beef Loaf. A West Coast attitude in a decidedly Midwest body, My Sock Summer. And your host, he's sharing obscure music thoughts to give you time to hit the bathroom, Terezi E.
Thank you, Cornsey. Welcome to the From the 108 podcast. Get ready for some baseball, beer, and bullshit. And remember the drinking rules. If Beef Loaf references a meme or says he talked about it on the au jus, you drink. If My Sock Summer shows up in the comments, you drink. And if I swear or say, here's the thing, you drink. No making us shut up tonight, but you can make both of us drink for $1.08 or more.
Please, or more.
Yeah. And speaking of drinking, Beef Loaf, what are you drinking, my friend?
Welcome back, Terezi. We missed you last week. I mean, I didn't miss you that much. We did almost 2 fucking hours, but yes, cheers here. I decided that I'm going to bust back into our guy, Dougie Freshness. He gave us that special package for the holidays, and I had been saving that. I drank 1 through 4 in a previous podcast. I'm going number 5 right now, and we're going to try to do 5 through 8 during this show. I'm not a big whiskey guy, but I do enjoy a taste every now and again. So cheers to Dougie Freshness. He actually had an encounter with a famous person, tried to get them to break bad on the Beef Loaf. I'm not going to say who it is. I'll let them do that on their show. It was pretty funny. He DM'd me hilarious shit. So cheers to Dougie, and thank you, Terezi.
Hey, Beef, I gotta say, man, you may have missed me because it was 2 hours. Like, it was like an hour and 50 minutes. Yeah. You needed someone to rein in My Sock Summer.
That's what My Sock Summer told me. He said, your mean brother wasn't here to stop me from doing my thing. And so that's just the way it happened, you know?
No one wants to hear that fucking much about Bill Walton ever. Not even Jason Benetti. Probably not even Luke Walton.
That's true. What are you drinking, Terezi?
I'm having a beer for tacos. Just getting down on a little. I haven't had much craft beer in a minute. All right, I was relegated to like Coronas and Red Stripes for the.
I enjoy a Red Stripe. How do you feel about Red Stripe?
It's perfect for the beach.
It is.
Like, you're sitting on the beach. Like, that's the only places that I really drank beer, was when we were like on a beach. I'd sit and drink a beer, or if I was like, I've had 15 Mai Tais this morning. Maybe we need to slow down.
Mix it up a little bit. Absolutely lovely.
Not have a water or anything. But have a Corona.
Yeah, just bring it down a little notch. You know, no big deal.
So how you doing, man?
I'm pretty good. You know, I found out this morning. I didn't realize this. Although I should. I should have it as a Google alert in my calendar or something like that. That one of our favorite movies, I'll say, one of the greatest movies of all time, greatest comedies of all time, turned 35 years old today, and that is Eddie Murphy and Arsenio Hall, Coming to America. Came out 35 years ago today to the theaters. Just an absolute gem of a movie. I know a lot of people, it got dogged originally when it was out at the theaters, but it's become a cult classic. And I even watched that shitty second one just because I wanted to see all the callbacks and everything. Because I couldn't. I liked it too. But that's just us, right? Being sentimental back then. But I mean, that was like Eddie Murphy at the top of his genius. He's playing all these characters and everything, and just like a wonderful comedy, but really a love story kind of built into it. And so I wanted to talk about it today, but I actually want to weave it into the Lawrence's Hot Sauce seat, Terezi. I want to ask you 3 questions about Coming to America. I know we both love that movie, so I'm going to get 3 questions out. Question number 1, and this is coming from Cleo McDowell, and I quote, "I don't give a damn who you are. This is America, Jack. Now you say one more word about Lisa here, and I'm going to break my foot off in your royal ass. Yes or no, is that the greatest dad line in movie history?"
So, 2 things real quick. First, yes. Yes, it is. But second, the great thing about that line, I don't know if you've watched any of like the behind the scenes stuff on that movie, is like that's an ad-libbed line because they gave him some line and John Amos was like, I would never say this. Like this, if I'm talking, if it's my daughter and we're I'm saying something different. And so he didn't tell anybody he was going to do something different. And he just reeled that off. And like they said that like James Earl Jones couldn't stop laughing. So they had to like reshoot again. Like, so that's like a second or third take because they had to get James Earl Jones to stop laughing. And yes, ultimate dad line. Ultimate dad.
The best.
In addition to him just ripping up the check. You know?
Yes. You ain't got enough money to buy me out. And he goes, nonsense. Right before, like, set the stage for all this shit. You're like, yeah, I absolutely, it's one of those, some movies have the moment in the movie where you're on the couch and you jump up off the couch and you're like, yes. But not all of them do. But that is that moment in that fucking movie. So I couldn't agree more about that. Before we get to the next question, let's get to a drink here. Herb Lawrence, thank you very much. He says, press the like button for these guys. Hello all. Hello. Question number 2 for you, Treasy.
All right, I'm ready.
Rank the Eddie Murphy characters in this movie. You got 4 characters that Eddie plays. He plays Prince Akeem. He plays Randy Watson. He plays Mr. Clarence. And then he plays Saul the customer in the barbershop. You got to rank. Give me your top 4, 1 through 4.
So I'm going to go 4 is Saul.
Okay.
It's fun.
Yeah.
It's fun. There's the velvet line. There's some good little bits there. The crazy thing though about that is I've heard that Eddie Murphy would leave the set in all that makeup and like go walk around
the
town.
street.
Yes. So that's amazing for one.
Incredible.
But he's 4. I think he's at the bottom there.
Yeah.
3 is the barber. He's awesome.
Mr.
He's
Clarence.
Awesome. Yeah, Mr. Clarence is awesome.
Yeah.
I really enjoy him. But
instead of calling it the Mighty Sharp, they should call it the Three Putzes. That's what it is, you know?
Yeah. I mean, like, he's a great character, but the barbershop, it is what it is, and it's just for me, like, I don't go back to that a lot in terms of quotes, except for the Joe Louis was 137 years old.
Yes.
2 is Prince Akeem.
Okay. Yep.
And Randy Watson is 1. And here's why Randy Watson is 1 for me.
I gotta hear this. Yeah, exactly.
Because that's actually Eddie Murphy. That is like Eddie Murphy at that point in his career thought he could sing. He was very much of the belief that he was just as good of a singer as he was a comedian. And it was great to see him, basically step out and go like, I know I'm fucked up trying to think that I'm like a great singer. He's mocking himself as that character. He's mocking himself. It's great. And so I love that character. I feel like that's a character that I talk about a lot more than any other character that's in a movie for like 1 or 2 minutes. Right? He's barely in that movie.
Yes.
But I think about that guy. I've seen there's shirts. There's Randy Watson tour shirts.
Shirts.
So like just an incredible character. And just you have to have experienced it in the time, because like the whole Eddie Murphy like doing Party All the Time, which trust me, I like that song. I walked out to it at my wedding. All right,
sir.
Like,
Yes,
so
you
like
did.
so like there's a lot going on there, and I love that character.
Excellent. Last question. I got to bring a little bit of horny in here because we did a lot of horny stuff last podcast.
Patrice over Lisa. Is that what you're going to ask?
That's the question. Yeah. Which McDowell sister, Patrice or Lisa?
Patrice was insane. You got to go for the crazy one. Got to go for the crazy one. Yeah, absolutely, Patrice. I knew where you were. Like as soon as you said horny, I was like, yeah, she's dancing to with the dog when Lisa's getting the earrings. Fuck that, man. Arsenio got the good bit. Arsenio had, it was funny when she finds out that he's not the prince. That's great. And then Daryl shows up. Yeah. I mean, like, there's just a lot of
there's a lot of clothes off you.
Yes.
But she disappeared though. I've never seen her in anything else.
Yeah,
like,
I don't know.
That was good. That was a good role. And then gone. I don't know where Patrice went.
Maybe she's like the lady from the second Indiana Jones, and then she just like Patrice maybe married John Landis. I don't know. Yeah.
Very much. All right, that was the Lawrence's hot sauce seat. Nice job, Tracy. Cheers, my friend. Lovely.
So, Beef, I'm having these beers. And we were just talking about the Red Stripe, Yeah. And like, I got to tell you about this on One Island. So, remember I messaged you. I was like, dude, we're on this cruise.
Yeah.
The cruise is like, it's one of those things. It's all inclusive and everything. And we're heading right towards like a hurricane or a tropical storm, whatever it was.
Wonderful.
And so they're like, they basically come on. I'm in the shower and I just hear a thing over the speakers and they're like, we're turning it around, right? We're going to,
Yeah.
But instead of going there, we went to this like little peninsula on Haiti. Right?
Oh, cool.
And it's but it's like the area is owned by the cruise company.
Okay.
So like you get there and like your drink package works.
Nice.
All the food's inclusive, all included and stuff. So I'm like, awesome. So we go there. The beach is awesome. Me and Cornsey are sitting on the beach. Grab a red stripe. I'm like, let's go in the water, And so what I see, like, I don't know if you've seen this when you've been on vacation, especially in like places where there's a lot of water. These kids got like the lanyards, and there's like a waterproof case that they have for their phones. Have you seen these? They're like
No, I haven't seen that. No.
And they're like just the size of the phone. The phone fits perfectly in there. You could use the phone and stuff, but it's a waterproof case. I thought it was awesome. And so me and Cornsey are out in the water, and we hear this kid like that's very close to us telling his mom like, "There's water getting in. There's water getting in." And so I'm like, "Oh shit!" So like I turn to look because I always like a little bit of chaos, and the kid. The kid he's struggling with the thing, and his mom's grabbing for it, and he pulls it out of the water. And Beef, I'm an observant person.
Yes,
so
you are. Yeah.
I quite quickly detected what was impacting the integrity of this waterproof. In addition to there being a telephone in there, so there was an iPhone in there, he had also squeezed in a goddamn foot-long hot dog. So... There's a phone in this thing, but there's also just a mangled Frankfurter, man, like just jammed in there. This kid is in the middle of the fucking ocean with a Frankfurter jammed into his phone package thing. And like the thing's now like it's taking on water because he jammed too much shit in there. And like,
what was it? He couldn't close it? I mean, a hot dog's not strong enough to break through some plastic, is it? I mean, what the hell? It's a super hot dog? What's going on here?
Beef, he closed it, but like imagine shoving a pillow into there. Like it's just like
stupid.
There's too much shit in there. So like he closed it. He was able to close it, but apparently, he didn't close it well enough.
Beautiful.
So now there's a struggle on because the mom is like, basically get rid of this thing. And kid's like, no way.
It's my hot dog.
This guy needs a mid-swim snack. He can't get rid of this thing. And I cannot stress to you enough.
It was the bun as well?
It was there was a bun on it. I'm telling you, it was like all mangled.
I was going keto, man. But no keto, bun included.
I cannot stress enough how close more hot dogs were from us. Like if you got out of the water, you had to walk 50 feet max to go get more hot dogs. And they're free. There's, like I said, it's all included. So like I don't know why this kid needed that snack. I kind of love him for it. And I think I'm going to say it's on the manufacturer. That thing should be big enough to hold a fucking hot dog.
Yeah, right.
This kid's hungry. It should trying to starve the children.
At a minimum, it should have a warning label: no hot dogs. If it didn't have that, I would sue. I would sue them for the value of my phone. No, what do you mean no hot dog? You didn't say there's nothing on the package that says no hot dogs in here. What the fuck? God damn it! Unbelievable.
I could not get that. And Beef, I almost drowned myself to not laugh right in this kid's face, to be honest. Like I was like, I don't know what to do here.
I mean, Andy saes that's what really happened with the Titanic. Too many hot dogs. Sunk that fucking thing, man. We should have known better.
He's talking about the submersible.
Oh, God. I thought you meant that. That too. That too.
It was actually built with hot dog casings. That was the problem with that
pierced. Got through there. Incredible. Did he eat the hot dog though?
You know what?
Or was it too much crying? There was a little too much crying for you to notice. You got distracted.
I didn't get to see the end of it because I had to return to land so that I could laugh hysterically for like 15 minutes. In fact, like 30 minutes later, I'm sitting on a chair, like a beach chair, next to Cornsey, and like I just start laughing, and she's like, "You're still laughing about the hot dog, aren't you?"
You're gonna get a year worth of laughs out of the hot dog.
It's been a week. I'm still laughing about it.
Absolutely incredible. Fucking ridiculous. What? I don't even understand. Like, I have not seen the cases you're talking about. Like, we went down to Alabama, for spring break. We go to our little spot there, but the kids there, no one's doing that. They're going in the water without any of that shit. It's just like a regular going to the beach water.
Beef. There's like an inch around the whole. Like if you put an iPhone in there, there's like about an inch of space around the whole thing. Apparently, not 12 total inches to fit the Frankfurter. It just didn't work out.
So upsetting.
The logistics failed.
Call the manufacturer. God damn it.
I hope they did. Like, I hope they got back on the ship and the mom just screaming on the phone.
Do you know who I am?
We lost a very good hot dog.
Love it.
I'm gonna pay some bills.
The reviews are in. I felt that I was a Mazda. It was spooky. I hope to read more by MSS. Perhaps next time, something longer. Sob Gloop. I've always wanted to write a haiku about a Mazda. I can't believe MSS has beaten me to it. Betty Orison. Amazing how so few words can set a scene so perfectly. I close my eyes and all I can see is the sultry summertime. Hit the spoof. The juxtaposition of Mazda and ballpark is truly inspired. The Daily Tale. Mazda. A haiku by MSS. Sultry summertime. A new little Mazda zooms by the ballpark. Mazda of Orland Park, home of the Zoom Zoom Nation. 8910 West 159th Street, Orland Park. 708-444-3200. Zoom. Zoom.
Beef, I'm gonna say something.
Go ahead.
And I don't want to be mean because he's not here, but I hadn't really paid attention. But I am pretty sure that's not a fucking haiku.
You violate the rules of the haiku.
I think the last sentence is only 4 syllables.
He trips up too at the end. Like, I don't know if he was drinking when he recorded the last line, but it's a little marble mouth there at the end. I'm not sure if he's a little tore up or not.
Almost. We're gonna have to ask the comments. The comments could help us out. Was that a haiku or not? I don't believe that was a haiku.
John Carney says haiku is 575. Hey, you said 4 at the end. That's only 4.
By the ballpark, right? That's only 4, right? Am I doing that right?
I don't know. I'm a
Do I have to
finance
clap?
guy.
Do I have to clap the syllables?
Tadahito wants to know real quick, who would be the person in the section to show up with a hot dog lanyard? Look, now that this story's been told, there'll be 8 people that show up with fucking hot dogs in lanyards in that section, right? I mean, right?
Absolutely. You know what the thing is, though? I think who could supply us with these cases, though, is probably Zvo.
Yeah, I bet he's got a ton of them.
Yeah, I bet he could get. He probably has access to those cases. I wonder if he could find us ones that are large enough. Like if like there's one for like an iPad that would actually fit the hot dog, and then I could try and track this kid down.
He's an insider, so he probably knew it wouldn't hold the hot dog, even though it's never been said before. So he was probably chuckling like, I always knew that was the case. And then John Carney says, I wept when Titanic hit the hot dog stand in the North Atlantic. Very emotional. Yeah, I did too, actually.
The guy from the Wagner Group was the one selling the hot dogs too, right? If I remember the story correctly.
Let's get to a couple drinks here. Our man Steve-O, he says, this buys 2 beers in my hometown still. Cheers. Cheers, Steve-O.
Cheers.
Steve-O might be a little upset at myself and the boys and doing this.
He should be mad at Josh. I feel like Josh was the one that went after him.
Josh wailed on him. Yeah, we just made fun of the Sons of Hanarchy thing because everyone hates Han now. So, and then Senior Socks, he says, happy birthday, Alexis and Jackie.
Oh yeah, happy birthday.
Happy birthday, ladies.
Good to hear from you, Senior Socks.
I love Senior Socks. He's the best.
All right,
baby.
Is it that time, Beef?
I think it is that time.
I was opening a beer, so I couldn't get to the.
Yes, Justin's on it. Let's go, baby.
It is. It's time for White Sox talk. All right.
Woo!
Beef. Here's something crazy. And before we get into this, because we're gonna get into some stuff, but like, I made my notes. I did not expect the Sox to score 20 runs in the last 2 days, so my notes may be a little bit off.
A little dated.
Maybe a little bit off. But I still don't. I'm still not confident in them. Keeping up the 10-run a game pace. So we'll get into it.
They're such a mid team, though, Treasy, that you kind of like every time they do, like if they do something well for 3 days of collapse, and then if they have like 3 real crappy days in a row, you should expect some really good shit to happen because that's just kind of the way they're built. Like they're built very they're mediocre. They're just a mediocre team.
when you rely on solo home runs, it's a rough life. It is a rough life. All right. Speaking of solo home runs, though, Luis Robert is absolutely on fire. I think everybody could agree that he is just the best player on the White Sox right now and for the foreseeable future.
Yep.
But he can't do this all by himself, Beef. He can't do it by himself. He can't be alone and just go like, I'm going to be great and we're gonna see what happens. Because we've even seen versions of this before. We've seen Jose Abreu do this. We've seen, and don't forget that it happened, but it did. Yohan Moncada did this, right?
Yeah.
We were talking about how going into that season, they're going to waste Yohan Moncada's 5-WAR season with this bum-ass team. And they did.
Yep.
We cannot waste Luis Roberts.
Right.
So the first question that I want to ask you, Beef, is I want you to give me a player on this roster who needs to just not suck to help Luis out. I'm not saying this guy needs to catch fire and be really good.
No.
I'm saying he needs to not suck.
Dude, it pains me to say this, but my man who I touted for before the season, I was worried the Sox were going to waste him. He came up and hit nothing but home runs. Jake Berger has just been a big pile of mustiness lately. In the month of June, Jake hit 6, and this is not including today's stats, so he didn't hit a home run today, but he had 6 home runs in June, but he's only batting 145 with a 202 on base, 410 slug for a 62 WRC plus, 39% strikeout rate, Treasy. And now you're seeing sort of the progression of Jake. Like, Jake had the I'm going to swing at everything approach for a while, and it worked. People were throwing him strikes or whatever, and then the pitchers caught up, and they're not throwing him as many strikes. And it's something with Jake's rhythm, because now he is taking more pitches. He is sort of seeing more stuff, whereas before it was like 33% strikeout rate, 0% walk rate, and 1 million home runs, right? Now it's starting to balance a little bit, but he's not getting all the other stuff, right? He's when he gets a pitch, he's missing it. Like he's not in the mode of like,
or he's popping it up. Yeah.
And when he does hit a ball hard, they seem to be finding gloves lately too. So like there's a lot of there's a lot of variance in his performance, right? He was a little lucky to be hitting so many home runs to start. Now he's maybe a little unlucky, but the approach has been so bad that he just can't recover from it. And look, they're going to be without Yohan Moncada for a while. Like the back thing, like they rushed him. They realized like even if he thinks he's healthy, he's got nothing, right? I mean, he had nothing at the plate. He can't drive the ball. This is your choice here, unless you're going to go with a real heavy, Zach Remillard and Elvis Andrus type infield. Like that's your thunder. He's going to play third for a while. So just getting back to being like an average-ish hitter and a non-terrible third baseman would be fine. Would really help this team an absolute ton.
Yeah, he's surprisingly handling the non-terrible third baseman part better than I thought.
Yeah.
But some of these at-bats are just terrible. And it's rough when you see a pitch come in to a hitter that's like Jake Berger, because like one that's like center cut and he doesn't do anything with it. He pops it up. Especially with guys on base, right? Like you see that and you're just like, "Oh man, that's why you're here." That's
exactly.
That's why we're okay with you playing third base, right? And so like if he could just, he doesn't have to be great.
No.
Just either up the home runs or get a few hits in between.
Take a walk occasionally. Just don't swing at every guy. Pretend like you don't even got the bat. Let the pitches go by and take a goddamn walk. He got good sprint speed for a fat guy. He runs fast, man. Let him get on the bases and do some damage out there.
See, now I know where you're going. I know where you're going. Because at first I thought, okay, he just wants him to get on base a little more, get a little more average. I see where you're going. You want him to steal bases. You're trying to get back to your Jake Berger stealing bases bit.
It was bad when he tried. He didn't get a good jump, and he didn't know how to slide. So like it had a lot of bad things going on with it. That's for next year maybe, Treasy. But how about just take a walk once in a while? And because you're right, they were getting him with the changeup when he was hitting a bunch of home runs, right? But they started getting him enough with it where it got him off balance, and now he can't even hit the fucking fastball that's down the pipe. It's like, what the fuck, man? Get your act together here.
Yeah, I mean, he might have to get into like the bad years of Konerko, where he was just like, I'm just going to sit and wait for the fastball. Like, I'm not. If you're throwing me something else, I am not prepared for it. But if he's
let it
throwing
go.
me a fastball, I'm gonna smash it.
Yeah, that would be fine, actually. Because the way the thing's lining up, like he shouldn't, when he was red hot, it was like, okay, great. Him and Luis are going to carry this thing. But now a few people are starting to step up a little bit. Eloy's been healthy for a little while. Okay, he can just be the 6th or 7th hitter that is like has Juan Uribe's approach at the plate. Like just be kind of like that, right? Don't be a total zero like he's been lately.
Yeah, and speaking of total zeros lately, my guy is Tim Anderson. So man. I took a look. So I went on Baseball Reference and I sorted by WAR, looked at guys that have played 40 games or more at shortstop this season, and just did a quick sort by WAR. I'll put the table up here, but if you're listening, and it's really small, so you can't see it anyways. But I drew a helpful line on here. But I
like it.
The idea here is Tim Anderson is 28th out of 28, and he's not even close to being 27, which is Kike Hernandez, right? But if you look at like the middle, like if you look at who's in the middle there, it's like Trey Turner, and like if you're following the season, the Philly fans are not ecstatic about.
They're pissed at Trey Turner. He's been bad for them. If you would say it.
He's got like a 684 OPS. He's got like 8 home runs. Like he's got some stolen bases.
Yeah,
I would love that to be Timmy's line right now. I would love it. Yes. I would love it. And if he could play at that level, just at that level, imagine how many times he's going to be on base when Luis is hitting a monster shot.
Absolutely.
Right? Because Pedro ain't moving him out of the top of the lineup, and Pedro is willing to bat Zach Remillard in front of him, but not willing to move him off the 2 spot. I don't know what the hell Pedro's doing with that, but like, nevertheless, Tim's going to be batting 1 or 2. We could pretty much agree on that. So so he's there. So he's got to get back to this. He's like, I'm not asking him to be the Tim Anderson we all want him to be on a regular basis. I want him to be equally as bad as Trey Turner is playing this year.
Right
like,
now.
Just get up to the badness that Trey Turner is currently putting out. You, Timmy. That's all I want. That's all I need. Luis will do the rest.
Yeah, absolutely right. I agree. And we've had discussions about this. I even wrote a blog about this a while back, how much the physical limitations have seemed to be an issue. But, the physical limitations are one thing. When he gets a ball and he can't really drive it like he used to before. But when he's missing center, those aren't physical limitations. So it's a combination of the mental and the physical getting at Timmy here. And you're right. If Timmy just gets back to being mediocre shortstop guy, like, second division decent shortstop, it's a huge bump for this roster. I mean, this is what we've been looking at, Treasy. It's like you could plug in 85 or 90 WRC plus guys in some of these holes, and it'd be huge fucking upgrades. So, like, we just need that to man. And I'm not even talking about fuck making the playoffs. I'm talking about making this shit watchable for the next couple months.
When you start looking at trades, and we'll get to this in a minute, but like when you start looking at trades, like you look at guys that are like have like 100 or 102 OPS plus, that kind of range, and you're like, holy shit, that would be so much better than what we got at that position.
Yeah,
like it's just like insanely better. Mm-hmm. Like we'll talk about it. We'll jump into it right now. I think this is a good segue.
Let's do it.
Let's make one roster move to shake up the roster. It could be anything. Bring someone up, cut somebody, trade for somebody. It just let's do that, because I was looking at this and I was like looking at a trade and I was like, this guy's not that good. He's old, and he'd be like one of the best players on our team. So
good approach. Go for it. You want to go first?
So here's the idea I had, because I was a team that interests me quite a bit, because we went and saw them too, is the Blue Jays.
Yeah. Yep.
Because the Blue Jays are out there trotting out a 4-man rotation and doing a bullpen game every week. And we were there for one of the bullpen games. And it started out great for the Blue Jays. And then it became a total fucking disaster. And so I was thinking, like, they don't need anyone in the 1 through 4 spots. Like their need for Lucas Giolito is almost zero, right? Because especially when you think about it, they got Hyunjin Ryu coming back in probably late July, maybe early August.
Right. Yeah, they got the high end starters. They need the back.
They need
the guys to fill in.
Back of the, and then once Ryu's back, I don't know what you need out of that pitcher. So I'm actually thinking, and this is a weird trade, so you guys, I'll probably get panned in the comments, but I'm ready for it. I'm sending Michael Kopech to the Jays.
Ooh.
For Whit Merrifield. Now, Whit Merrifield is like,
all right.
He's like 102 OPS plus or something.
Yeah.
The power's zapped, right? He still steals. But they could probably live with putting Kevin Biggio there and just putting Biggio down at the bottom of the lineup so he can strike out as much as he wants. Because he
no one really
wants
wants
to do
that.
that.
Yeah.
He loves to do that.
Yeah,
but
it's not great.
Kopech actually makes a lot of sense for the Jays because when Rio comes back, you don't want to put a lot of innings on Rio right away. He's coming back from Tommy John. You can give Kopech some of those innings. You could use him as an opener, and then you can also use him as high leverage. When you get into when you get into something like the playoffs, like Kopech is valuable to a team, even though he came in with as a back end starter. That guy's a high leverage reliever too, so you could use him. The Jays would probably use him better than the White Sox. Is the way I was thinking about it when I was looking at it. And Whit Merrifield's fucking like 34, and just like he still plays a good second base.
Yeah,
he's still like 3 outs above average second baseman right now. He still hits the ball. He gets on base a lot. Like that would be a huge get for the Sox. In fact, I was like looking at it, I'm like, we might have to give more than Kopech.
Like I don't think so. I don't think you have to get more than Kopech.
But Kopech does have a lot of time.
I was gonna say he's got a couple
3 years. 3 years. And so 2 after this year, right?
2 after this year. That's correct.
And
that's right.
Merrifield, I think, has an option for next year. I was like, this to me, this would bolster the team. We could do whatever. We could send Gavin Sheets to the Marlins for Johnny Cueto and put him at the back of the roster.
Okay, I gotta ask, what are you doing with this fucking rotation spot?
We got
4 months or 3 months left to go.
Yeah, that's gonna be rough. That's gonna be rough. So
we're not worried about that right now.
So Schulten's is part of this rotation when this happens.
I'm sure he is. Yeah,
we're gonna have to really lean on him. Clevenger comes back hopefully. You might have to go to the scrap heap. You might have to go to the scrap heap. You might have to trade for Johnny Cueto. It's going to be rough.
Is that Mike Miner's music? Is that Chris Archer's music I'm hearing? Like,
yeah, Chris Archer. I mean, we talked 2 weeks ago. I talked about Chris Archer.
Yeah.
And what did I tell you? I said Chris Archer could get you 3-4 innings. That's about the max that he's going to get you. That's what Kopech gets you.
lately he's been, and he needs rest. Is what I'm hearing.
Yeah,
he needs a little rest. He got rest
every 15 days or something.
Rest him out. He's TBD at this point. Well, I like the novel approach. Why not?
You told me to do something nuts. I give you something nuts.
John Carter says the Tukey disrespect.
Tukey would definitely have to step it up if we make this trade.
And Tim Honor says, listen, Beef, you bear whatever burden in order you have to get a 37-year-old Whit Merrifield on your house. That's right, exactly. Any expense we need to pay.
I feel like Whit's like 34, right? Or is he 37?
I don't know.
He might be 37.
I don't know. You should have checked that out before. But I am also going old. All right, my solution is an old solution as well. This guy also happens to be a huge pain in the ass, and so that's why he was like kind of freely available. If I'm the White Sox, I'm going to the Mets because the Mets, Steve Cohen, you could tell is just like, fuck this season. I'm moving on to the next year already. Let's just shed some shit, let some payroll roll off. I'm going to get Tommy Pham. I mean, we need a right fielder. Okay. Just throw Tommy Pham in right field. Tommy Pham has a 126 WRC plus. He's 35 years old. He still runs and everything. He's not great, but he's whatever. He's better than what we've been throwing out there. And I'm sending, and this maybe the trade's light. I don't know, but he's expiring contract at 35. Who the fuck wants him, really? Like, this is like, a throwaway almost. I'm sending Norge Vera. Vera, good luck. I think
that works. They didn't get much for Eduardo Escobar or for, I think that would be, he's better than Escobar, but like.
He's better than Escobar, yeah.
But
outfield's a higher bar too. I mean, then
I was actually looking at trading with the Angels because I'm like, we could probably send Jake Berger there because they traded for 2 third basemen and they both suck.
Jerry O'Sullivan says, get Lindor if you're trading with the Mets. I don't know. Jerry's not really into spending that much money, and I don't know. We don't have a lot to trade with here. Like, we'd have to be barreling kind of a lot of stuff to get Lindor. And Lindor's not that great anymore. Like, he's good still, but he's not a stud at this point.
There's some guys on that. I was looking at that roster because that's obviously a team that's gonna be trading. There's just so much money on that roster.
Oh,
like
yeah,
that's the
absolutely.
one thing. That's the one thing that this roster is not the Mets roster is not prepared for, is to move pieces off, right? Like you look at the pitchers and I'm not signing Mad Bum. I see the comment. Teresi is signing Mad Bum. I am not signing.
There you go,
Mad
Jerry
Bum.
O'Sullivan. You're right.
Although I did have the Mad Bum AL Cy Young meme in the same vein as James
Yes, you
Shields.
did. Yeah.
But that roster, I was looking at it because I was looking at this same stuff. Beef was like, what can we get from here? And it's just like, oh my god, like Starling Marte is owed a lot of money. Like for what?
Yeah, I mean, it's the two guys on the Mets roster. I was like, Pham, who's a little more obvious because he runs a little better, or whatever. Mark Canha, too, is another guy you could probably get. Like, for not that much, you flip him something. But, I mean, you're right. The dumpster diving, I was looking at, like, second baseman, Treasy. You went for Whit Merrifield, the actual accomplished guy. Dude, MSS's guy, Ronan Odor, is in San Diego. You just go get him, and they'd take a flyer for that fucking guy, right? I mean, what the hell?
The other version of that, the Kopech trade that I had, was actually going and getting like Wilmer Flores and maybe something else from the Giants.
Yeah.
Because the Giants are, I don't know if they're actually rolling with this. It's just the way it's listed on Roster Resource, but they're in a 3-man rotation right now. So
sounds about.
But they have like Sean Manaea and like Jacob Junis in their bullpen, right? Like, so man, your shit's falling apart back there.
Oh man, it fell when we were interviewing Chuck. When we had Chuck on here, got flipped over into a fucking car, he's talking and this thing goes, poof, and I'm thinking, man, the beef loaf cutout flipped over just like Chuck. Like it was weird. It was eerie, you know.
That story's insane, by the way. That story is insane.
I love.
But yeah,
man.
I mean, like the second base market is like, there's not much there, but like you look at it and you go, these are all better than what we have.
These guys replace Elvis Andrews, no doubt.
I'm sure there's tons of Zach Remillard love right now.
Yeah,
but that's going to be fleeting. All right, like that. Don't think that this is going to just kind of be the way that this guy hits. All right,
Treasy, I'm trying to pretend I don't love Zach Remillard right now, but I do kind of love him, and I'm holding in my love for him because I know what's coming. I know what's happening. You know, like.
But you know you'll take it though. Take it.
I want it. Give me all of it right now while it works. Yes.
Take anything you can get. It's like with Yerman, right? Like I mean, like we just need guys like this to just be good for like a month. Just like give me 1 month. That's all I need.
That's right.
But yeah, I mean, like that's the thing. Like you need a second baseman. Like there's a problem here. There is a problem here. I mean, it's not like we didn't know about this problem. Like we knew about the problem coming into the season.
Yeah, we known about it coming into the decade. We knew there was no second.
Elvis Andrews was like, that's a nice Band-Aid, you know. You know, I think I wrote a blog about that, and I was like, I think the defense is going to be there, but he is not going to hit like he hit last year. Like, let's just be honest with ourselves. He's never done that,
and he hasn't hit at all.
No.
Absolutely terrible.
He's finally healed up, and
yeah, exactly. Yeah, what happened to his wrist that was sapping his power? It was back, and now it's gone again. He must have fell on it. I don't know what happened. Fucking wrist went back out.
He fell over Brian Greasy's dog.
Exactly.
Did you have any other roster moves to shake it up? Like, because like. There's things like, I mean, like one obvious thing to me is like Oscar Colas coming up, right? Like,
yes, you can bring Colas up. Yeah, Colas coming up is probably what the move we will get at some point, but it's just riskier than one of these short term, like grab a guy who actually has been a professional hitter for a while, and yeah, they might dip and stink, but you know they have a track record there. Whereas Colas came up and it didn't look great, and he's looked great in AAA. You just don't know what you'll get for those last couple months. You know, it's a little risky.
You know, it's worth seeing though, because I feel like we're trotting out some bullshit. I mean like Adam Hazley coming back up is a fucking slap in the face to Oscar Colas, really. I mean like that, because if you're bringing up Hazley, you are counting on no offensive production.
Correct.
It's a defense only guy. Yeah. Well, then bring Colas up. His defense is fine. He's a good defender.
Well, it's funny. They've been bringing Hazley into the game to run, right? They brought him in as a defensive replacement today.
Oh, my God.
And then the fly balls to him, and he can't see it. I was like, get this guy some sunglasses or something. What the fuck? He's coming in for defensive replacement. I'm like, he's going to fucking drop this fly ball. Come on now.
All I could think is like, drop it, asshole. I want to see you drop it. I just...
No, I do not. I want to see the game. I want to win the game. We scored 9 runs, Treasy. Come on.
Hey, it might have been worth it. Let's get into some more White Sox talk Beef. Why not?
I love
Why
it.
not? Two
We
games
should.
they won 2 games in a row. We owe
they
them
did.
this much. So Beef, I know you wanted to talk
Red
about
hot.
the Jose Rodriguez
I do.
quandary. So I'll kick it to you. You go. Let me know what you're thinking.
All right, sounds good. I put up a tweet yesterday. It said, with Popeye, that's Jose Rodriguez, who the White Sox brought up for a little while. It's on the 40-man. They brought him up, number 6 prospect in their system. And he didn't really play. They kind of let him pinch run a little. He played some defense in one game. I said, so in my tweet, I said, with Popeye demoted, I can tweet this. I was disappointed he didn't play because I wanted to get a look. But the whole, quote-unquote, let's see if he can play thing is kind of BS. If he played and went 1 for 12 with 7 Ks, the prospect folks would just yell, small sample size, and I hashtag it Lenin Sosa, because that's kind of what happened with Lenin Sosa. The whole, let's see if a guy can play, never follows through unless he plays like you think he will. That's the only time it ever follows through in that situation. And now we've seen Sosa now for over 100 plate appearances, and it hasn't been great. And the people who are supporting Sosa, none of them are saying, he's not a major leaguer, he's not ready yet. So the whole, if a guy gets brought up in a pinch like that where you just need a body, don't scream and yell about, we're not seeing what we got here. Because no matter what the fuck the result was, unless it's exactly what you thought it would be, you're not going to make up any sort of mind. You're going to keep your fucking priors, and you're going to believe exactly what you believe before. So who cares? Let them utilize them how they want to be utilized.
Yeah, that's the funny thing, Beef. Imagine if he... let's imagine this. Let's imagine he gets... he's up for just a short while. He plays one game. He goes 3 for 3 with a double, right?
Yeah.
Steals 2 bases or something. Like some really nice game.
Yep.
That's not who he is.
No.
He's not going to be able to produce that. Like, that's... Like, you see what his numbers are in the minors. He's not producing that. Right? Like, so the... Then everybody would be going nuts, like, why are you sending this guy back down? They gave the guy a paycheck. All right? Like,
That's right.
Let's
That's
just
a good
be
thing.
honest. That's what they did.
Isn't that nice, though? That's nice.
Yes.
We recognize you've been playing well in the minors. We're going to give you a week up here. You're going to get paid extra. You're going to start working your service time a little bit, all that shit. And you get to be in the big league clubhouse and hang out with the boys. All that sounds great. Yeah, he didn't play every day. So what? They're trying to win ball games. Whatever. They're going to play whatever mixture they want to play. And the secondary point to this, Treasy, is like, maybe we shouldn't, as a group, sweat the number 6 prospect of a bottom 3 farm system. Like, that guy might just be a future utility player. Like, don't worry about it. Like, you're not...
Be.
It might become a future utility player. Don't sweat it like it's a top 10 overall prospect in baseball. It's like, they fucked with this guy. This is what this guy's role is probably going to be over the next few years. He's going to be maybe an up and down guy or a guy who is coming off the bench. How often you want to see the utility guy in there? That's what you're going to see here a little bit,
Right. If Romy's healthy, if Lenin Sosa is a guy that they like, if Zach Remillard continues to be a quadruple A worthy player, where are the innings for this guy?
Right. That's tough.
And who's clamoring to trade for him? Right? Like, so it becomes a thing where it's like, dude, this might be the only opportunity this year that they had to give this guy a major league paycheck.
Absolutely. All right, everyone's got a drink because MSS in the comments.
MSS,
he says listening to this for 30 seconds. I already miss me. Yep, that's exactly how you'd say it on the show too, motherfucker. We miss you too.
We miss you. We needed 42 minutes of something, and we didn't get it. So we'll
talk.
We'll have to carry on.
We'll talk 13 minutes of Bill Walton at the end. Don't worry. We'll save you. You fucker.
But yeah, I mean, like, I just don't see a lot of opportunities for this guy to come up. The option's burned this year because he's on the 40.
Yeah,
and
so it was already gone.
So, like, just let the guy get some money. Like, don't worry about it. Don't worry about that guy got some money and, like, you didn't get to watch him at Birmingham like you watch him every night.
Yeah, that's fine. That's no big deal. I'm sure he enjoyed it. I'm sure he liked getting paid extra.
Now he's promoted to AAA too, right? I mean, like, so he's a little bit more money, right? Like, just be happy for the guy. Get a little better paychecks each day of the week. All right.
We are drinking without ice, without water or anything. Just neat, baby. Sammy, that's how we keep it.
So, Beef, anything else on the Jose Rodriguez side? I mean, like, I feel
but I wish him the best. I mean, like, I just think the prospect hugging, it's like, just chill, all right? The guy came up, and it's okay. He'll be back. I'm betting he'll be back, maybe even this year, and you'll probably see him again. Same thing with Sosa. Everyone's crying about the Sosa thing. It's like the guy came back. He still didn't hit, but he came back. They're going to be back. Don't worry about it.
So Beef, I saw a tweet about some bullshit trade where like we're getting like the number one prospect from the Orioles for Cease and Giolito, and people were like, no way would I do that. No way would
Jackson
I trade
Holiday.
Cease and Giolito for that. What?
Exactly.
So I was kind of thinking about like, I think people, and this is just a general thing about society and people in general.
Yeah.
Like, you value what you have more than what others have, right?
course.
Like
Yep.
it's just your thing. Like if I were to tell you, Beef, the mug that's on your desk, how much would you sell it to me for? The price that you're going to say is going to be higher than what it's actually worth.
Of course,
It's just human nature.
Yep.
And so I think that that's kind of like the way that a lot of us White Sox fans are looking at Giolito. And I think it's not accurate, right? And we're also kind of thinking like it's going to be a total seller's market because so many teams are going to be close enough that they're going to stay in it. They're going to be buying. Everybody needs pitching.
Right.
This makes it a seller's market for this. The problem is that Giolito's not that unique in this market. Okay, so we could take a quick look here. Like if you look at Lucas Giolito, Jordan Montgomery, Blake Snell, all on teams that are doing poorly.
Yes.
All could be sellers. They all make about the same amount of money. Blake Snell makes a little bit more. Mm-hmm. Their ERA pluses are like right alongside of each other. They're kind of the same guy this year, right? Yep. They're like all in the same range, and that's not even talking about like the guys that are just below them. There's a bunch of those guys too, right? Like sure. The Drew Smileys and the Michael Lorenzens, the Paul Blackburns that are just they're serviceable. They're going to be in that like 3 to 5 range in someone's rotation, which is where Lucas Giolito would end up, right?
Right. Yeah.
Some of these guys aren't even going to make like if you look at a team like the Blue Jays we were talking about earlier. If you trade Lucas Giolito to the Blue Jays, there's a chance that he doesn't start a game in the playoffs.
Yeah, right. They could be out before you even get a chance to use them. There's no question about it. Yeah.
So like there's the utility in getting a Lucas Giolito when you're one of these teams isn't that high. Not that I don't think Lucas is good. I really like Lucas.
I love Lucas.
He's having a good year. I'm excited to see him every time he comes to the mound.
Yep.
But I don't think that he's that highly coveted in the market because if you're a good team, you probably have a top 2 starters, right? You don't need this guy to start one of the first playoff games for you. You're probably already coasting into the playoffs regardless. Yeah, and so there's not a lot of teams that are going to be clamoring for this type of player, and because of that, there's not going to be a lot given out for a player like this.
Right.
And so you might even actually see guys like Lorenzen who's worse, be favored because of his experience in the bullpen, knowing that you can flip this guy into a bullpen arm when you need it. And so like, and that sounds weird because I think Lucas Giolito is like 100 times better than Michael Lorenzen. But like, but you might see.
But you're talking about it from a utility standpoint. You're right.
Right.
How can we use this guy?
What does the team need, and how are they going to use this person?
Yeah.
A team that only needs a 5th starter, Lucas Giolito is probably too expensive for that. Right. Like if you're the Sox, you're not going to trade him for what they're going to trade for a 5th starter. You don't want that bullshit.
Yeah.
And so like that's where it gets complicated as to like what are these guys actually worth? And then there's all these other factors that could come into it that'll blow up the market, right? Like if the Red Sox decide like we're not going to go for it. We're just this division's fucked up and we're too far out of the wild card, and now James Paxton's name is thrown in there. And now teams will be higher on him than probably the rest of the guys I just talked about. He's having a much better year. Or if the Cubs decide to say Stroman's available, then that really blows things up, right?
Yeah, those are the guys that could start a game 1 or 2 for you in a playoff.
Exactly. And so it's interesting to me to think about what we could actually get for Lucas Giolito, and I don't think it's a lot. I think it probably makes more sense to try and get to the playoffs with Lucas Giolito than it does to try and get something for him, because there's a combination too of like, will Rick Hahn execute a good trade, and then will this team be able to develop whatever kind of lottery ticket guy you get? Because you're not going to get like a major league ready guy, and if you do, like, what was the point of that, right? Like, are you still trying to make the playoffs but getting rid of like your best pitcher? So like, it like there's you end up with like a guy probably in like Double-A who's got like a flaw, right? And like, do you trust the Sox to fix it? Right? Like, do you trust the Sox to go like, wow, this guy, he's only got 2 pitches, but we want to make him a starter.
Let's try it.
We'll definitely get that done.
Yeah.
When haven't we been able to accomplish that?
It works. Well, I'm glad you bring up this point with the levels here, because I was looking at last year's trade, because it's the first year with the extra team, right? And teams did not try that hard generally to get those spots that were not going to be 1 or 2. With the exception of, there were big trades if a player had control and were a superstar. So, like, if you wanted to get Juan Soto, yeah, you're getting a haul. If you wanted to get Luis Castillo, you're getting a haul. But a stud and extra years of control here. And we're talking about a guy who's, you're going to get 12 starts or 13 starts, and that's what you get guaranteed right there. It's a tougher sledding. When I looked, the most comparable from last year I could find, Treasy, was Noah Syndergaard, and he got Mickey Moniak back. Now, that's working out great, but that's just a post-type prospect. That's a guy who was a prospect who was way out of the rankings and was just like, here, gamble with this and see what you got. And they have turned it into something decent. So, I mean, it's possible to get something, but it's not like a great haul.
But here's the thing, is like, Moniak coming through and actually being good is a shock. It's
a long shot.
It would be similar to if I said right now, like, yeah, let's trade let's also trade Lucas Giolito to the Phillies, and we'll get Scott Kingery back. You'd be like,
right.
I don't want no Scott Kingery. Everybody would be like, everybody jumping up on the chairs going, Treasy, you're an idiot. We don't want Scott Kingery. But that's what Mickey Moniak was. Like, he's basically the same thing. It's like, now Kingery wasn't a 1-1, but Kingery came out hot as a pistol, and they signed him to a huge contract.
Before he barely played. Yeah, exactly. Like, yeah, he was saying, like, oh, man, we need you, you know?
Yeah, so, like, yeah, that's a similar trade. And, like, that would not go over well. Like, and that is surely not the number 1 prospect in the Orioles system.
No, yeah, you're gonna get some flyers for if you decide you want to trade even him. You might get some more interesting ones for him than you get for the bullpen pieces. But I agree with you, Treasy. I'm glad you underlined the point, because that's really the decision. When I see people saying sell, I don't think they realize kind of what the return will most likely look like. You could get lucky. I'm not saying
and that there are a bunch of teams poised to sell, right? And like,
yeah,
I mean, I think one team that's going to be very interesting, and I had Blake Snell in there from them, is it's going to be very interesting to see what the Padres do. Because the Padres are not competitive right now.
No.
I don't know what's wrong with them. I mean, there's obviously injuries and things, but like, and they have guys signed to like mega contracts, and then guys that are going into free agency, or guys that are like a year away from free agency. It'll be interesting to see what they do, what they move around to go into next year. I would love it if they decided to, like, if they put someone massive up there on the block, right? Like if like a Tatis or like Machado got like, we're trading this guy. Like, we've had enough of this guy.
Turn over the roster.
See what happens.
I doubt it.
I think we got some. That's not going to happen, but I would love it. We got some drinks.
Let's catch up.
I don't know. Did we get this one already?
We did not get that one. No.
Bill, cheers.
Thanks, Bill. Bill says the Sox will trade for Bill Paxton. Cheers, boys. Yeah. I'd love it.
Bill Paxton, what a great actor. And then Drew, he says he's still owed a mute, but at least I can make you drink. And yes, you can. And
next week will be your mute.
I was going to take off next week. I got to show up. All right, fine. All right.
We got one more we haven't gotten to, Treasy. We didn't get Baloney's yet.
Oh, shit.
He says, sorry I'm late, Treasy. Show me your lightsaber. Hello. I didn't realize we're in that hour of the show. Goodness.
I would love to, but YouTube does not allow that kind of stuff. But I'll save it for the next time I see you, my friend.
Hello. Wow. Intimate. I love it.
Yeah. Get that wedding ring off you, and we'll see what you can do. All right. Beef, you had one more topic you wanted to get to with the Sox. So throw it at me.
This is related. So we're talking about selling. And what I was realizing in the buying versus selling argument, a lot of the people that want to sell, it's not necessarily because they're like, well, selling is going to enrich a future White Sox team and this is going to be good for 24, 25. A lot of the people that want to sell are like, man, fuck this team. I want to stop caring about them. I want no consequences anytime I watch. And I realize White Sox fans are like that. We either want to have the type of team that just beats the piss out of you, or we want a shitty-ass team so that when we go to the ballpark, we get dollar hot dogs and cheap beer, and we don't have to pay attention to the game unless it's good. Now, nothing wrong with this. This is just what White Sox fans are at this point, right? So my question to you, Treasy, is let's say all the consequences are stripped off the White Sox. Give me one thing you want to see with the current group. One thing you would like to see just because you want to see it. And if they sold off, you're like, let's fucking do this. So I'll be amused by this shit.
All right. Every home game. Eloy plays right field.
Yes.
And I don't care, listeners, people watching this, I don't care if you're worried about him getting hurt. All right? I'm worried about him getting hurt. That's your problem. That's not my fucking problem. All right? You could stop being a pussy. I'm just going to enjoy the fact that Eloy is right in front of me and we're out there interacting. Like there is no way Eloy would play right field all the time and not interact with the 108. It would be fucking wild. And I'm here for it, and I want it. And like you said, Beef, no consequences. So I don't see how this could possibly go wrong.
You know what's funny about the Eloy right field thing? Our guy Wendell, who sits in 110, he's on Twitter. He's been saying the whole year, like, Eloy really wants to play right field, and he seems more engaged in the game when he does play right field. I think he's kind of right. It's anecdotal, but watching him, like, the level of hustle, I think is higher. And, like, lately, like, today, he went from first to third on a single, Eloy did. Like, Eloy's head is really into the game. He's like, fuck it, we want to win. And so I would love it. He's got a big blue mitt now, Treasy, and I know you love blue mitts for other reasons, but still, man.
He's got the Pedro Guerrero, man. I love it. I love the whole vibe. I love the whole thing. Like I want him in the outfield. I want him. You know why? Because here's the problem, Beef. It's not like he's keeping someone good off the field if he's out there. You want to watch Gavin Sheets play right field?
No,
like I don't know why you want to watch that. We saw he almost gave up an inside the park home run the other day, and I like Gavin Sheets. I've been a big Gavin Sheets stan, but like, god damn it, he can't play right field.
No,
he's never supposed to be out there.
It was funny. Back-to-back nights, Treasy. The Angels hit a ball in the right field corner for a triple. Okay, the one that did to Eloy. Eloy did not play it badly. It just kind of like scooted, and he got it, but because of the way that corner is, it was going to be a triple, and it was a fast runner. The next night, Gavin Sheets, the fucking ball scooted past him. He played it terribly. And Twitter, they clobbered Eloy, and I didn't see anything. Fucking crickets for Gavin Sheets. And maybe it's just we all realize Gavin Sheets doesn't belong anywhere near an outfield glove, but it was still hilarious to me.
It's wild. But Eloy would be a ton of fun. And those of you that sit with us in the 108, how could you not want this? How could you not want to be a part of this?
Yeah, we're going to become his best friends if he plays right field all the time.
Beef, what's yours?
Mine is a little bit of a guilty pleasure. And it's something I talked a little bit about on the Au Jus with Jim Margulis. Jim Margulis is so thrilled. It's amazing to talk to a guy who's been writing about the Sox for like 20 years. He's just thrilled that the Sox use an opener now. So what I need is the buddy cop duo of Tanner Banks and Jesse Schultens, the piggyback rotation. I need them have one rotation spot. I need to see them every 5 days, and they can switch orders if they want. I don't care, if you want to go with the lefty first or the righty first or whatever. I want something fun like that because I'm starting to see what appears to be a fun collection of White Sox just grabbing random pitchers and it working. Like they made the trade for Santos. He's been a stud. They pick up Keenan Middleton, who hasn't hardly pitched in 4 years, stud. Tukey even has come in and pitched well. And Schultens has been great. And I think they made a pickup or trade from San Diego last year. Beautiful. I love watching these no-names pitch well.
Banks and Schultens have a spot once we trade Kopech. All right?
They do.
Once the deal's done.
Yep.
Once the deal's done for Kevin Biggio. I got a question here from Senior Sox. He
go
wants
for it.
He wants to know how close is Eloy to 74 home runs. Pretty close.
It's
Pretty close. I'm not really worried at all.
John Carney says, Sheets has been given almost exclusively favorable matchups for 3 years, and he's still below replacement level. That's a good call, John. Like, it's just not, it isn't a thing. For me, like, if he was an up and down guy, bench bat kind of guy, that's fine, but he shouldn't be playing regularly. Mike Press says, you guys deserve your own version of Alfonso Soriano. Yes, we do. I agree with this 100%. I loved Alfonso Soriano left field, man.
You know what? I gotta say this because I know Mike's a Cubs fan, and I feel that Cubs fans underappreciated Alfonso Soriano. Alfonso Soriano was good. He was good for that team.
He was
like,
good, yeah.
Everybody complained like it was their money that was getting spent on Alfonso Soriano. Alfonso Soriano played well for you. You guys found out what it was like when Jason Hayward came to your team. Like that, then you really experience. You got the Sox experience of we signed this guy. He's terrible.
Exactly.
Soriano was actually good. You guys were spoiled at that point.
So you didn't even realize it.
I think we got a drink here.
Oh, beautiful.
From Jerry, he says Eloy needs to play right field on all Tuesday $5 beer nights. Yes, that is a great call.
Cheers, Jerry. Treasy, what's funny about the $5 beer night? We finally got the $5 beer at the stand that we go to, and then I didn't buy a single $5 beer. I just bought the regular beer. It's like, you know what? I don't want Coors Light. Fuck Coors Light. I'm going to drink what I normally drink, and I kept going. So, but it is nice that it's there. The Coors Light's there for you if you want.
It is nice for everybody else, not for me.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, I like it. I mean, I like the idea of we've got Schulten's on the mound, we've got Eloy in right field. We're gonna have a party. It's gonna be a big Tuesday night. Big Tuesday night.
Always.
Rough Wednesday morning. Rough Wednesday morning is all I know about that.
Allegedly.
All right, I think I gotta pay some more bills here.
I think
We'll see how sexy my Sox summer sounds in this recording.
You know what's the best? Daily deals at Lawrence's Fish and Shrimp. Every day they have something on special, taking care of you, the customer. Every Monday, get a full pound of catfish strips for only $15. On Tuesdays, get a full pound of original large shrimp for $16. Then Wednesday, get a full pound of their lightly breaded shrimp for only $18. And on Thursdays, get a half order of coconut shrimp for only $10. And don't forget, you can make anything a combo for only $5 more. You can't beat that. If you are headed to a game, weekday or weekend, Lawrence's on Canal Street is open 24 hours. So rest assured that even if the game runs late or you come into town early, they are there serving up your faves. With a huge spacious patio, eating outside is always in play. It's a great experience for the whole family. Lawrence's Fish and Shrimp have 3 other locations besides Canal Street: 3242 West 87th Street in Chicago, 50 South Manheim Roman Hillside, 3248 Vollmer Road in Olympia Fields. Visit them online at lawrencesfishandshrimp.com to see their menus and place an order. And give them a follow on their Twitter at Lawrence's Shrimp. Lawrence's Fish and Shrimp, Chicago's favorite shrimp house since 1950.
Beef, you think that's MSS singing underneath it too? I kind of feel like it is.
Too, actually, yeah. I didn't know he knew how to mix the tracks like that, but I'm impressed. But I'm happy by him. A couple things here. Senior Sucks says no Coors Light slander. We weren't. We're fine with Coors Light. We just didn't want it that particular night.
It's just not for me.
And then Brew Luke says, man, stop running this ad when I'm blazed. You're always blazed. What the fuck? We're going to run the ad. All right, too bad.
Well, time your blazingness more appropriately. You know when we're going to play it. So, I just went to Lawrence's because
nice.
I got back from my trip and I missed Father's Day. Right, I was out of town for Father's Day, so
you did, yes.
I was like, I got to make this up to Mad Max, and so I brought him some Lawrence's. This is the best way to make it up to him. So
he loves it.
Went and had some lunch with him. Of course, if you guys know me and Beef, and you think, oh, these guys got some goofy ass stories, shit's all over the place. You're not even prepared for Mad Max. He's just on another level. Just unbelievable.
Yeah, they're way out there. Life was different back in the 70s.
Oh, my God. Now I'm just like cracking up about different stories that I'm thinking of. There is one story that I just love from him, and I'm not gonna tell the whole story, but it involves a guy going down to City Hall in the middle of summer and bringing his dog, and then someone else is driving him. and he comes back out, and the dog had shit in the guy's car. It's like, this is the 70s. There's no air conditioning. This is like, it's like 90 degrees out.
It's a steamer in the backseat. Love it.
All right, Beef, it's time for one of my favorite segments.
Yes.
Stupidest shit we've read on the internet this week. I mean, like, it's a tough week. It's a tough week to come up with this because, you had to get something stupider than that lady that was tweeting about how it's totally normal and fine for Donald Trump to want to fuck his own daughter. Like, that's...
I didn't even see that.
We had to raise the bar above that lady. So, like, this is tough. This is a tough thing to do. Beef,
That's wild.
What's yours for this week?
I couldn't help myself here. And this actually drifts back a little longer than a week ago, but I wanted to bring it to the forefront because we didn't get a chance to talk about it previously. It is Illinois man charged after telling police he shot himself in leg during dream about home intruder. And this is from Lake Barrington, Illinois. A suburban Chicago man is facing firearms charges after he told officers he accidentally shot himself in the leg while dreaming an intruder was breaking into his home, police said. The Lake Barrington man was charged about 2 months after Lake County Sheriff's deputies reported to his house on April 10th on a report about a person with a gunshot wound. Deputies who found the 62-year-old man with a shotgun wound to one of his legs applied a tourniquet to the limb because he was losing significant amounts of blood before being hospitalized, police said. The man told investigators he had a dream that someone was breaking into his home, and during that dream, he retrieved a .357 Magnum revolver and shot who he believed was the intruder, police said. When he fired, he shot himself and apparently woke up from the dream, police said, too. So I shouldn't be laughing about this shit. Investigators determined there was no burglary attempt at the man's home in the northwest Chicago suburbs, but they found the state firearms owner's identification card had been revoked, and he was still in possession of a firearm. A warrant was issued on June 9th for the man on charges of possession of a firearm without a valid FOID card. It's unbelievable because... wait, what do you have the gun in bed with you? Like, what the fuck is going on here?
Beef, this is the first image that popped to my mind when you're starting to tell this story. Especially because at first it said something about a shotgun. I imagine the Tony Sopranos laying in bed with the shotgun on his chest.
Was this guy in the Lamb? He was worried one of the 5 families was coming after him. Like, what the fuck is going on? The only gun that should go off in your dreams is your fuck gun, okay? If that goes off, no one gets hurt, no one even gets pregnant, hopefully. That's the only gun that should go off. Like, what the hell is going on here? Like, and I'm not trying to trot this out there as like no one should own guns. Hey, own a gun, be safe with it if you want. But having a loaded gun in bed with you is like ridiculous. Yeah, Baloney, right? Worst wet dream ever. Exactly. Like, what the fuck? I mean, I felt bad for the guy. He got fucking shot, but it's still a very weird setup to get yourself shot.
We got a drink here from Sean. He said, West Coast baseball sucks. I agree.
Oh, hello. Thank you, Sean. Appreciate you.
I mean, Beef, like, I don't even, like, it's just so, all of it's so stupid. Because, let's just think about this for a second, right? Like, let's assume this guy doesn't sleep with his gun.
Yeah.
How fucking available is it to him that in his sleep he could get to it?
Right? Yeah, no question. Exactly.
I mean, the fact that this guy could get a gun out and shoot himself should be something to aspire to for all the people that piss themselves in bed. Because, like...
I'd rather shoot myself, though, than piss myself in bed. I'll be honest with you. I'll take the gun injury. I don't care.
Beef, I'm saying this guy's more talented. This is the level of talent the piss your pants people need to get up to.
That's
true. You got to at least get your dick out. This guy's able to load a gun and shoot himself in a matter of a dream. So, like,
that's a good call, Treasy. Because if you're normally a piss yourself person and you improve your skills, and when it's time, you'll get up during the night sleepwalk and piss on your neighbor's car or something like that. You get even with some people, using the piss gun instead of an actual gun. Like, you're right. If this guy maybe should start a seminar or class or something to coach up some of these people. Like, what the fuck?
I thought it was an intruder, but it turns out my wife's into golden showers.
How about you, Treasy? What's the stupidest shit you read? Because that shit was pretty stupid.
So it was going to be the Trump lady, but then something else came up today. And this is something that I've been following this story because the story is so fucking stupid. So the NFL suspended a bunch of guys today. One of them, we'll get to the NFL because there's layers of stupid here. We'll get to the NFL in a minute. But we're going to start with the one guy, Isaiah Rodgers. Now, Beef, are you familiar with what happened here? So Isaiah Rodgers.
No.
So he's got suspended under the gambling rules that the league put in place. And a lot of these rules are kind of goofy. But this one, I like this rule. And it is you cannot bet on games with your own team playing.
Yeah, makes sense.
Which this guy violated.
Yep.
He had a guy betting for him. And here's where it gets ultra stupid. Betting on games that he was going to play in. How much do you think he got this guy to put down on these games?
$5,000.
$25 to $50.
Shouldn't there be a threshold to this penalty? Like,
this guy's going to lose his $2.7 million contract this year because he was dumb enough to go, yo, I think I know what's going to happen in this game. Let's get $25 out of this. All right? I know it breaks a lot of rules, but it's worth the risk.
Who cares?
It's worth the risk. You know how many? We could get like 4 or 5 Big Macs with this. All right? Like this is worth ruining my career over. For sure. For sure. This just absolute fucking stupidity. Like I'm like,
did the NFL seize the winnings from the bet or no? I wonder how does that work out? Do they seize the account?
They went to the guy's house, they grabbed him by his ankles, shook him upside down, and enough quarters came out that it paid for what he won. Like just absolutely
you had $111 in your account. Those are ours now. Roger Goodell's like counting the money out.
DraftKings said you don't have enough to take out. Like
you get a deposit. You got to pay us with cash, motherfucker.
go to the casino, get a cash payout. We're not doing this electronically. But so that was just like, I think that's just a fucking insanely stupid. Like why would you risk your career over something?
Of course.
Like I get like if we found out like this guy was fixing games and he had his buddy going offshore and he was betting $1 million a game. And they made $4 or $5 million in this scheme. And the guy was, you would think to yourself, you know what? These careers are fleeting. He could have got injured at any time. He'd be out of all this money. He took a swing, right? You'd get it on some level, right? You'd get it on some level to be like,
of course,
he went for the big money. You see these guys over the years. There's been scandals like this in a bunch of different sports, and it's always for big money. This motherfucker for $20, come on, man. I bet more than this guy was betting on these games. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, you bet multiples of his
units. So that's stupid. Here's the other stupid part of this, though. Is so they suspended some other guys, and like 4 or 5 guys got suspended for betting on non-NFL games.
Okay.
And now here's the rule. I'm going to read it to you. This is from an article because I wanted to make sure that this was on ESPN. This is what the NFL said, and this was one of the rules that they have, and it's don't gamble at your team facility while traveling for a road game or staying at a team hotel. Okay. So what you're telling me, and these guys all got like a season. They got like suspended for a season.
Yeah.
So what you're telling me is if I play for an NFL team and I'm sitting in the hotel bar about to watch an NBA game that I have nothing to do with, I don't know anybody on any team.
Yeah. And
I bet $50 on this, I deserve a longer suspension than Deshaun Watson. That is what the NFL saying.
Ridiculous.
I don't even have words for how stupid that is. Like, the policy itself is insanity.
Of course.
Like, I get don't gamble at your team facility. All right, you're at work. All right,
yes.
every job could.
They usually block all those sites anyway. You can't get to them.
Right, but imagine you're traveling for work, and they're like, "Yo, you can't do this at the hotel that we're putting you up at." Why? Why can't I do that?
Rules are rules.
I'm not working right now. I get I would understand if they're like, yo, if you're at a team hotel, you can't have more than 2 drinks. That's a better rule than you can't gamble.
But there's, you know what it is? The gambling's such big business, man. That's what it is. They, you know, and so that's why they're setting up such ridiculous, stupid, stringent rules.
I think that makes it even dumber. Because like I get the don't bet on football.
Of course,
right? I would even get don't bet on college football because you probably know somebody
for sure
through that, right?
Might have an alma mater, whatever the fuck.
Yeah, exactly. You might have some connection to the game.
Yeah.
It's like the like if some dude's bet like a running back in the NFL is betting on hockey, and he just happens to be at the hotel that the team's paying for, like that's a year suspension.
Yeah, that seems bizarre.
Why even bother? Why even bother with that rule? Like either do that and say, hey, look, just no NFL, or just say no betting at all. Like there shouldn't be like a gray area of like, well, if you go out in the parking lot of the hotel, you're fine.
You can bet.
You can bet all you want. You know, like why make it complicated for these guys? Like the one guy who got suspended, he's like, I went to the seminar. I had no idea this counted as like as like gambling. I'm sorry, I guess. Like I mean, like how do you even apologize for that? I bet $50 on a basketball game while I was in Denver for a road trip. Who fucking cares?
Some of the greatest athletes of our time are some of the biggest fucking gamblers of all time. Like, I was just watching The Last Dance, and half The Last Dance is about Michael Jordan gambling on stuff. Playing cards with the fellas and golf bets and all this other shit, whatever. The guys who play golf, Mickelson and all that, they guys bet fucking humongous amounts of money, you know, playing matches against each other, casino betting, whatever. So it is bizarre that's like the, it's almost like we want to strangle the players by another way, and we're going to do it like this. You know, here's another way of controlling the players.
Beef. Here's a good example. Let's say your team travels to play the Raiders, and you go downstairs.
Yeah.
And you bet $150,000 and lose it all playing craps.
Yeah.
That's fine. You step in that fucking sports book, you're never playing again.
$5 on a tennis match, you're fucked. Hey man, that's it's Goodell's world. We're just living in it, baby. That's the way it works.
Here's the rule: you get paid millions to play a game, which is not true. Not all these guys get paid millions to play.
That's
a
true.
game.
They don't.
No betting until you're retired. I'm fine with that though, Sammy. I think that's fine. Like if you're gonna make a rule, make it easy to adhere to. Like you just can't gamble.
Like total abstinence is the rule kind of thing.
Yeah, that's fine. Just no sports betting. Just no sports betting at all would be a fine rule. But when you make it all weird, there's definitely gonna get guys.
It's like they want to catch a few people. Like they want to get a few guys caught a little bit.
They wanted to this to happen basically, and then like it's like when they do the every year a guy gets caught for PEDs, and he's like, I had no idea this was on the PED list. My doctor gave me this. You know, it's like 50% of the time they're full of shit, but the other 50% of the time it's probably like, yeah, because they give you this weird list where like, you know, if you get a prescription for Ritalin, you're fine. If or Adderall, you're fine. But if you eat this other supplement, you're fucked.
Yeah, remember when Jim Miller got suspended? He had fucking bigger tits than honey bears. I mean, it's like, well, that guy's on steroids. Give me a break. Like, well, no, he's been eating since then. I'm sorry, our Jim Miller. I'm sorry. I apologize.
Sam says 3 weeks in a row, Teresi has to poke holes in my argument. I'm agreeing with your argument. I like it.
Yeah.
We're on the same page. I think that's a reasonable.
Ian says gas station boner pills. Look, if my guy from my story would have just been doing that, he would be okay right now. But he used the wrong gun. Fuck gun, okay. Regular gun, not so okay. Terrible.
I just imagine that guy just waking up and being like, "Oh, good. I just jizzed on myself. I didn't nearly kill myself."
It's a close call.
Oh man! All right. Well, it's been a great show so far. It's now time for the thank yous. Beef, who are you thanking this week?
Oh my God! I got to thank my guy Matt Ramsey because he took the absolute most buff fucking picture of me since I turned 45. Look how ripped I look in that, Treasy. I don't know what his camera's got in it, but I need to steal that camera and take every fucking picture of me in it. So shout out to my man, Matt Ramsey. That's a good looking picture. And look how swole I look in that shit.
What exactly are you doing to Matt Ramsey?
I don't know. I have no idea what. Because I'm facing away from the game. Like, I have no idea what I'm doing here.
It looks like you're about to get shot by a foot gun if I'm just...
or maybe I already did. That's why I'm tensed up.
Luckily, you had glasses on.
That's protected. How about you, Tracy?
Well, I would like to thank you, and I'd like to thank My Sock Summer, and I'd like to thank Josh for filling in while I was gone. It was a nice trip. It was good to get away, but it was also nice that we didn't have to miss any shows. Yep. And that you guys made everybody in White Sox Twitter hate each other with a single hot tub show.
Not true. We talked shit about all these people, and most of them hate our guts, except for Sammy Davis Jr. 5K. He immediately put the stuff in his... he fucking loved it. You know, we try to pick on people who we know will kind of like it, embrace it, and give us back, you know? I mean, Sammy Davis Jr. farted on me at a game, and people took pictures of it. So, like, it's all fair play, in my opinion.
Well, all right, that's it for this week. Thanks, everybody. We will we'll be back. Beef, you got an au jus this Monday?
Yeah, Monday I got Shane Reardon coming on. He's going to tell me how to put together a radio show, which is kind of interesting. So
that should be fun, and then we'll be back Thursday, I think, full squad.
Full squad.
Thursday.
Whole crew.
All right, I can't wait. All right, talk to everybody soon. We'll see you on the internet.